Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to our latest episode. You know, I said I didn't pick up any comics at the Fan Expo, which is true, but that's not to say I didn't pick up anything at Fan Expo. I picked up this bad boy right here. And Jose, do you have any Gentle Giant? Do you have any Gentle Giant mini bus there, Jose?
I always love how you ask me a question, you already know the answer to that. And of course, you know that's no, Paul, I don't have one of those.
Yeah, that's right, you don't. And I do. This is like my 5th or 6th one here. And, oh man, did I get a great deal on this bad boy?
Mm-hmm.
I paid $50 for this.
$50?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but the new Gentle Giant's coming out this year for the Force Awakens started at $120 US. Some guy was selling his collection. I picked this one up for $50.
Wow.
And to see, it comes with its certificate of authenticity here.
Yeah, you need to make sure that's included in there.
Yeah, mine's number 9,270.
What was the edition, 10,000?
10,000 units, yeah. So mine's one of the very last ones made, so anyways, here it is, and I'm sure most of you are aware of the Gentle Giants. The workmanship on these is absolutely spectacular. The detail is amazing, and of course this is the Senate Guard from I guess the new 3 Star Wars films. Before they became the Imperial Guards, the red guys. Let me show you the red guys. So go in here. Before this, before, you know, when there used to be a Galactic Senate, these were the Senate Guards, and of course when Palpatine turned it into the Galactic Empire, and these guys here took over. So anyways, had the Imperial Guard for quite a few years now, the Royal Guard, and I've always wanted this because this one here, the production number was exactly the same, 10,000 units for this one, and 10,000 units for this one. So now I've got one of each, and I'm super excited about owning this. Wanted it for a long time, and yeah, just another great addition to my collection. So anyways, yeah, let's not waste any more time here. We're going to be, we've got a great episode for you tonight. Like I said, we're running a man short today. It's not right, Mike's not around.
Yeah, Eagle-Eyed Ooga said to tell all our viewers he's down, but he's not out for the count. He's feeling a little ill. He'll be back on our next episode. Yeah.
So we'll be steering the ship tonight, just the 2 of us, but you have nothing to worry about because we got some amazing books.
This is our Recent Snags episode.
Cool. So let's get started. Okay, so here we go. Now, last weekend was a really exciting weekend. I guess we could call it really exciting and a little bit disappointing at the same time. But
also really expensive.
Really expensive. But Jose got back a whole bunch of CGC books finally, and yeah. So we're going to be showing you some of them tonight, and we're going to start off with this one. This is obviously Spider-Man number 68.
59.
And, sorry, it's number 59. Sorry, so go ahead, Jose. Why don't you start us off?
Okay, so this is a Silver Age book that I picked up from Retro Rare from Sandy. Paid $40 for it, Canadian, $30 US. This is from April 68. Now, this is a key issue. I always do key issues, it seems, but
yeah.
I mean, without stating it, and the key obvious factor is that it's Mary Jane Watson dancing on the cover in her go-go boots there.
Yeah.
So it's first Mary Jane Watson on the cover of Amazing Spider-Man. I'm satisfied as far as the grade. I'm not disappointed. I judge this to come back a 6. Okay, so a fine book. I bought it within grade. Usually, if I get it half a grade within the grade that I think I'm doing okay. From the realm, I mean, a book at a 6th grade, roughly, if I remember correctly, you're talking around $100 US, I think. So
yeah.
I've done okay. $60 for the CGC process, $40, it's $100 Canadian, so about 75 US. So I did okay. It's a good book. The problem is I'm showcasing this book first because I've got a serious disappointment, and I'm going to be comparing that book with this book. They're near contemporaries. They're about 16 months apart. Yeah. Of course, this is my submission for Strange Tales 151 First Jim Steranko work. The thing I will note with this book now, the condition flaws, it came back 6.5. It's got a really low page grade.
Yeah.
And let's go through the grades. Of course, the best you can hope for, the very top, tip top, is white pages. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for the submissions I got from Bronze Age books, it's tough to find white pages in Silver Age and Bronze Age books increasingly, and that speaks to the condition of the actual quality and state of the book inside. Remember, the inside pages is the most cheapest manufactured wood pulp kind of publishing paper that you've got. So these books that are getting about 50 years old, I mean, they're tough to find. This has got cream to off-white pages.
Yeah.
Now, this would not be a bad grade for a Golden Age book, but this is a book from '68, so it is a low grade. So it's white pages, off-white to white pages, off-white pages, and then cream to white pages. So the grade quality is very low in this book. And it's also got some bleaching or staining around the borders of the book, which sometimes happens, and that speaks to a storage condition. So overall, still not a bad looking book. The last thing to comment on grade-wise is that it's got two small little tears in the cover in the bottom. Okay, they're not really visible that much until you get up really close, but they are noticeable, and that would be the last thing. So I thought a 6, I got a 6.5. I'm okay with that, and I did okay price-wise. The next book, not so much.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess all things, you thought you're going to come back at a 6, and you got 6.5, so you can't
I got half a grade higher. I am happy, and I'm happy with the price. So no problems with this book. Next one, problems, big problems.
And the next book, Jose's Disappointment, Strange Tales 151. Yeah, I at the comic book store, Jose, I felt kind of bad for you because I could clearly see you weren't happy.
No. By the way, folks, just so I point out, this my copy is obviously the CGC copy. We bought this on the same day from the same dealer. And now I should make very clear, I am not disagreeing as far as the grade with the dealer and with the store that I bought this from. I am obviously disagreeing with CGC as far as the grade they gave this book.
Yeah.
Now, I looked at this book minutely when I submitted it, in the sense that I went through all the pages. Now, the page condition quality on this book is a full white pages. So it's tip-top, grade A. It does not get better grade-wise for the quality of the state as far as the inside of the book is concerned. Now, let's deal with the more obvious. Now, the cover. The cover has got two, I wouldn't say major, but two small ticks as far as condition problems. The first one is at the top left-hand corner by the spine. There's some slight rubbing. Okay,
yeah.
So it is noticeable to the eye, but it's not detrimental as far as being a major thing. Where these years, you know, you got the notorious Marvel chipping, and it's got nothing of that, of course.
Yeah.
And the second condition flaw, it's much less noticeable than a tear, which the Amazing Spider-Man 59 had two of. By the bottom spine, there is a slight tick, like hole / tear that's not very big, but it's noticeable as far as a white spot. By the Leviathan or Behemoth on the left there, by his skirt, you'll see a white dot. That's by the spine. So those are the two major condition problems, and this book has been graded a full grade and a half lower than my Amazing Spider-Man 59. Now, when I purchased it, and it was priced at $150 Canadian, so roughly twice what you paid for your book. And by the way, I've looked over your book, as we did when we purchased each other. I thought mine was a 7.75. I thought yours was a 6.65. Okay, and I think those are reasonable grades for what I consider the book to be as far as condition. Now, I should say, I have about 30 years of looking at comic books. So, I mean, I feel that I have a decent eye, and while, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, a disappointment is not possible, I'm saying I don't think that this book is 2 grades lower than what I think it actually is condition-wise.
So just to make it clear, I paid 80 Canadian for mine.
So 60 US, and I paid 150 Canadian.
For your copy,
So, yeah, that's well over $100 US, probably around $120 US, something like that. So, and then, of course, $60 on top of that. Now, let's get to finally ending this thing. What is my recourse at this point? Well, the problem with CGC is I have to pay an extra $10 US to get the grader's notes on the book.
Yeah.
Because unless there is some large tear, discoloration, something cut out, missing, and having said that, if there was any of that, the condition of that thing would be stated in the actual blue header border there. With my Golden Age book, my Jumbo 88, they had a little report saying that has very minor glue on the spine of the book.
Yeah.
So anything of that nature, I think, would be obviously there, but At this point, do I want to throw an extra $10 into this thing to find out? Because I really do not believe this is a 5 book. I really do not.
I agree. I think CGC dropped the ball here. I couldn't believe it when it came back, and it's very disappointing.
Because it speaks to your book and it has a ripple effect. Like yours, I don't think is. You said you thought yours would be a VG. Well, if my grade is correct, then by their standard, there's no way your book could be higher than a VG.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not markedly better, but it's noticeably better. And those are fine distinctions, maybe, and with everything being subjective. But I don't think so. I think you would be undergrading it at a VG. I think it's at least around the fine. And I think mine's around a fine, very fine, at the very least, considering that the 59 was a 6.5.
Okay. Well,
we'll have to see. I could update you on a future episode deciding I'm thinking of spending the money, finding out, and then maybe I'll either have to resubmit or live with the grade.
Well, bottom more of the story is when you send something for CGC, you just never know.
Never know. The last thing I will say is the issue before this, 150, that I submitted through Gotham Central, October 31st, 2015. I still haven't gotten that book.
Almost a year. It's been a year.
Well, it will be in 3 weeks when Halloween, because I did not get into CGC on October 31st, but I give it to my local hobby store to submit. And I've already know the grade is a VF, an 8, which is exactly what I expected. But the problem is, I still haven't got it a year later. So thanks, CGC, for everything. Okay, so with that CGC unpleasantness out of the way, we'll get to some good stuff. This is Paul's first book of the episode, Captain Marvel, issue number 2, 12-cent Silver Age book.
Yeah, and this is another one of the books I actually picked up at the Toronto Comic Book Show, but I didn't have time to show it in the last episode because we just flat ran out of time. I think that episode was bordering on 45 to 50 minutes.
But it speaks to the quality and to the variety at that show. For 50, 60 dealers, man, there was a lot of good snags there that went unreported. So we're catching up on this episode, and this is definitely a nice snag. Now, truth be told, and this is only preference, I prefer the more classic red and blue.
For sure.
It's kind of, I feel the same way like Daredevil.
This guy only wore this for the first couple of
and then they changed it and it became iconic. So and it's an interesting book to feature here because guess what? My next 2 books will be Captain Marvel early Bronze Age issues. So nice synchronicity there, Paul. So that's cool.
Cool. And this, like I said, this is number 2. This is a major key because it's the first appearance of absolutely nothing.
No, nothing?
Just screwing with
that's
you.
Right. I forgot. I thought it might be an early appearance of the Super Skrull.
No. It's not a key of nothing, no sorts whatsoever.
So it's only a number 2. No key goodness for that one.
No key goodness.
Still, for a late Silver Age book. And what's the date on this?
June 68.
So so for a very late Silver Age book, it's not a bad condition book. I looked it over. It's about a mid-grader, a fine, a 6.0.
Yeah. And just for reference here, I did a quick check on Comic Book Realm, just to give you a quick breakdown. In the near mint meaning around 9.2, the price listed is 116 US. For your VF copy, around 8.5, you're looking at about 108. And you said you thought this one was around a 6.0, like
6.5 maybe.
Like a fine?
Fine plus, yeah.
Okay, so fine, you're looking at 36 US, and I got it at the con for $20, so I can't complain.
Oh no, you definitely did okay there.
And I love the cover, nice cover by Gene Colan, Vince Collette, and Sam Rosen. And I love the artwork on the front. And
great Marvel bullpen names there, man. Those are all big boys in their own right, man. That's actually a very nice cover against the Super Skrull. Very nice book.
Not a key, but a cool book just the same.
And a very nice cover, I must say.
Okay, since I showed some Captain Marvel on my last book, I'm kind of like the Jedi Knight, and Jose being the little Padawan learner there, has decided to continue on in my footsteps, showing some more Captain Marvels. So what do you got here, Jose? What do you got for us?
I got some early Bronze Age goodness, and who's leading who? I don't think so. A couple of books here. Captain Marvel featured front and center. Of course, this is Captain Marvel, issue number 28, volume 1. Both from 71 from April and Avengers 89 from June of 71. We'll start off with the Captain Marvel. If you're on the hunt for more early Thanos appearances, well, here's his 3rd full appearance. Full appearance meaning whatever you think my full appearance is.
Yeah.
In Marvel Comics, after Iron Man number 55 and Captain Issue Marvel 27, as far as Thanos appearances. It's also the second one that Thanos appears on the cover. Of course, that's his ugly mug there, front and center there.
Yeah.
I believe the first cover is Captain Marvel number 26, a couple of issues earlier. This is a Big B score from the Fan Expo. It was in their half price bin books.
Really?
So this is my bargain bin book of the con that I didn't get a chance to show in our previous episodes. $40 Canadian marked, $20 Canadian paid, $15 US. I feel like I stole that
I think
book.
you just stole that.
I stole that book.
I'm going to call the cops. You stole that.
Big score from Big B. Now, this Thanos War story arc is still going strong in this issue, and it ends with Captain Marvel issue number 33. Like I said, I bought 50% off, $20 US, felt like no money paid. Now, here's the Overstreet breakdowns, boys and girls, from the latest guide. 8, 9, and 9/2 splits on this book are as follows: $54, $102, and $150 for those grades. So I think this is around a VF. It's not a high grade, but I would say 7.58. So about an 8, $54 US. Score.
Score, big time, yeah.
Yeah, so enough about that one. The next one, not so much a score. Picked up from my local doing some pre-con sniping before the Fan Expo. He had this in their big boy books. This issue, Avengers number 89, begins the Kree Skrull War story arc. And it's interesting that you had the Super Skrull in your issue of Captain Marvel number 2.
Yeah.
This is a classic Captain Marvel execution cover. You kind of feel the same way when I got that 5 score on the Strange Tales 151. That's about how I felt.
That's Jose on the electric chair getting back as CGC Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only good alien is a date alien. The only good comic collector is a comic collector who doesn't get a nasty shock like that. Man. Anyway, this is the epic Kree Skrull War. It's a definite fan favorite. It begins in this issue right here. Captain Marvel guest stars, and the story lasts from Avengers issues 89 to 97, and then it continues on to Amazing Adventures issues 5 to 8. Because the Kree and the Skrulls are at war, Earth and its heroes are caught up, of course, in the chaos. The Inhumans, the Avengers, Captain Marvel, and the Fantastic Four all cross over throughout the story arc over these two titles. The Overstreet breakdowns for this bad boy: 8, 9, 9, 2, 44, 82, and 120 US. I paid $95 US, well, 120 Canadian. So, and really high grades. 9.4s are dropping for 2, 9.6s for 4. This is, of course, not nearly that. Grade-wise, I think it might come back a VF plus. Anyway, it's not a bad pickup. I wanted a high grade. I got a reasonably high grade, so I'm not too, I'm not over the moon, but like I said, it's no definitely Captain Marvel bargain pickup.
Yeah.
I paid full whack for that, but I'm happy to have the book.
Cool. And they're great books, Mike, sorry.
No, he's here in spirit.
Mike's here in spirit.
By the way, he sends out his shouts and he says he got his Aquaman number 11 back from CGC, full 6.5, exactly what he thought the book was going to come back. He hit a bullseye on that one. He's all in about, with his CG cost $60, $20, $80 Canadian, that's about 60 US.
Deal of the century.
Deal of the century, you could get Pull Easy 3 US right now for it, and it's only going to go up one way up.
If I'm not mistaken, I was speaking to Mike early on the phone tonight. He was saying he saw them on eBay for $800-900.
Yeah, and if you can get them, God bless you, because you know what? I may have hit a couple of extra base hits using baseball analogy now with the Jays in the playoffs.
Okay.
I've hit maybe a few home runs, but I've never hit a grand slam. Uga's definitely hit a grand slam on that one. Way to go, buddy.
Well, he's gonna bring it in on the next episode. We're gonna get to check it out. So looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, and I haven't had my fix in a while, so I got to get my fix tonight, especially given that we're only about 2 months away from Rogue One.
That's right. Star Wars goodness coming to the theaters near you for the holiday season.
Starting to get the Star Wars fever again as it gets closer. I'm probably going to show a couple Star Wars books from here, from here, time to time, and I'm sure we're all aware of this. These are the latest books from Marvel related to the Force Awakens movie, and not showing them for any other reason than I think they're really cool. The first one is a really cool cover. It's got Rey on the front with Millennium Falcon. I love the striking yellow, the sun in the background. A nice cover by Estad Ribic, and this is an artist we don't mention very often around here. But yeah, so that's number one. Jose, want to do me a favor? Just flip into the next one there. And next one we got, wow, that's great. We got Kylo Ren with Han Solo on the front, more Rey, Chewbacca, and Poe Dameron. And a really cool cover by Mike Mayhew. And continue on, Jose. Let's see the third one there. Again, we're just going through these really quickly. Again, a really nice cover by Mike Diodaro with Rey on the front there, Han Solo. And yeah, continue on. There's no reason to go on about them any more than we are. And this is my favorite of the 4 covers I've collected so far. This is issue number 4. Again, Rey on the front cover. Mike Del Mundo doing the painting for this one. I don't know if you guys remember, but in an earlier episode, I think it was Comic-Con 2015, I actually got Mike Del Mundo to sign one of my Deadpool graphic novels, and I really, really love his work, and I really, really love this cover. So Mike shows up at quite a few of the Comic-Cons, so definitely when he shows up the next time, I'm taking this book there and getting it signed. I just can't say enough about this cover. Of the 4, this is by far my favorite. And yeah, that's it. Just thought I'd throw those in real quick. You know, I can see a Pendragon acquisition coming from a mile away. And we got some really great Warlocks here. We got what? Warlock number 10 and 11, Jose. Nice books.
Continuing with the Bronze Age goodness, yes, Warlocks 10 and 11 from December of 75 and February of 76. So we'll start numerically with number 10. Why is this of key? Of course, these are 2 key issues. You know, I wouldn't do nothing but get keys.
Oh, Jose
here.
Showing a key?
Yeah.
God, that doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, it's a rare occurrence. Anyway, this has got the origin of Gamora. I love her. Ooh, Zoe, love you.
Yeah.
Now, although some sources with the Warlock, that issue number 9, the previous one, is the first appearance of the character of the In-Betweener. He's only shown in a single panel cameo in that issue, in which Warlock number 10, the In-Betweener, only shows up again in a splash page of sorts and a 1 panel and of this story, Enter the Redemption Principle. So basically it's also a cameo, and this is the story that tells Gamora's origin and that she's how she's related to Thanos, and it's told in flashback. So
yeah.
Origin of Gamora. Origin issues always good books to pick up. If you don't know the origin, Thanos pretty much adopts Gamora.
You're giving a spoiler?
A spoiler alert!
You bastard!
Yeah, and he basically, yes, saves and adopts her, and because her people are destroyed by the Magus, okay? That's the evil, mad future warlock, okay? Because of this, of course, Gamora has a hate-on for the Magus, whom Thanos also wants to destroy, of course. So Thanos would end up training this female badass, modifying her body with implants and stuff, and doing more kind of that stuff, genetic engineering, blah, blah, blah. No surprise that this comic is written by that Cosmic King, of course, that Jim Starlin. Some of my favorite artists are named Jim. Steranko, Aparo, and of course this is Starlin. The 3 Jims, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit of Jims for a comic book artist, for me anyway.
Yeah, if you keep giving away spoilers, our watchers are going to want to genetically re-engineer you.
Anyway, he did create Thanos and Gamora, and this issue just happens to be the origin of Gamora. Since the origin of characters are pretty sought out, Gamora is still pretty hot in the market, so hold on to it if you have it, as I predict that it will catch some heat now before the Guardians of the Galaxy movie comes out next spring. So
cool.
$75 paid Canadian. It's not a super high grade. It's got some spine roll. You see the staples, how they kind of moved over a bit. Registry's not bad. Conditions pretty decent. Grade wise, I'd give it about a VF minus 7.5, approaching an 8. I didn't pay.
I'll take it.
I'll take it for $75. Okay, so the other one was much more reasonable. Of course, it's not as far as that's concerned. Origin of Gamora is pretty important. This one, number 11, has got the first full appearance of that character I mentioned, the In-Betweener, and it's also got the death of the Magus. Now, that's what it's referring to. Here it be the strange death of Adam Warlock. Remember, Warlock is one of those characters that gets reborn and reincarnated and stuff like that. It's got a weird kind of that, sensibility with that. Yeah. Now, since Warlock issues 9 and 10 only have cameos, this issue here should be considered the first full appearance of the In-Betweener. The character does show up quite often in 15 panels, the intro splash page, and a total of 5 pages total. So if that's not a first full appearance, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a relative term we throw out there. You ask what people think of first full appearance, you'll get lots of different answers, okay? So Even, okay. Once again, we're not sure if that guarantees a first full appearance, is basically what I'm trying to say. But he is prominent in the actual story. The in-betweener arrives, now again, spoiler a little bit, to fulfill his plan of kidnapping Adam Warlock to turn him into the champion of life in this issue, to fight the evil Thanos, okay? Of course, the in-betweener will also end up driving Warlock mad and turning him into the Magus.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of weird. That story is detailed in Warlock number 9, okay? However, Adam Warlock is determined to thwart these events from ever happening. Adam Warlock and Thanos team up to fight the Magus in this issue. Warlock also struggles to change the events of him being taken over by the In-Betweener and thus erasing the Magus from existence. It's one of those weird time kind of things. The Magus supposedly dies in this issue, but we all know what deaths are like in comic books, so
for
it can
sure.
always come back. Overstreet numbers for 8992s, 20, 31, 42 bucks. I think it's about an 8, around that, 30 bucks Canadian paid. What's that? Not even 24, 25, US. I mean, it's what I should pay for it, and it's got some heat to it. Like I said, I think the Magus will be something that could be explored, but 2 good books paid for a little over 100 bucks, 2 Warlock keys, very happy.
Well done, Jose. Well done. Okay, this is very interesting because I actually saw the Captain 3D book featured in an episode of Comic Book Men, and the other one, the Battle for a Three-Dimensional World, I've never seen before, but this is really great, Jose. I guess so. This is a 3D theme here, eh?
3D and 3D coming at you. A Golden Age pre-code book and a newer book. 30 years separating the difference here.
Wow.
From 2 Jack Kirby books. This is my Kirby fix. Like a junkie, I must get some Kirby. So I got some Golden Age Kirby and I got some Bronze Age Kirby. 1953, 1983. Exactly 30 years apart. So why don't we start talking about the Captain 3D? This is cover dated December 1953. It's my first Harvey Comics book in my collection.
Wow.
He is a fictional character published by Harvey, created by the writing and art team of Joe Simon and Jack Kirby.
Wow.
Classic team, of course. Captain 3D starred in this one issue of Harvey Comics that is cover dated again December 53. Now, what does a cover date mean? Cover date refers to the date displayed on the covers of magazines and comic books. This is not necessarily the true date of publication of the book. The general practice of most mainstream comic book companies since the creation of comic book back in the 30s was to date individual issues by putting the name of the month, and much later the year on the cover, which was generally about 2 to 3 months after the actual release date. Now, why is this important? Because in chronology, comic book history-wise, this has also got some key goodness. This is the 3rd professional work of that legend, Steve Ditko.
Wow.
As Stan Lee would say, enough said, co-creator of Spider-Man was Stan the Man, and creator of course, Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay, so just let me get this straight. So this Captain 3D is from 1953?
Yes, 1953.
Now, it shows you what quality does. Because, I mean, I opened the book, I felt it. You're not looking at through any Mylar there. You're looking at the real book. And the quality of the cover is excellent. And so the pages are much thicker than newsprint on the inside. So it just shows you how much better the book will hold up when it was printed with quality in the first place. With this looks like it was printed yesterday, Jose.
I know, and the battle for a 3-dimensional world by a company called 3D Cosmic Comics, a company I've never heard of, probably obviously an independent.
Yeah.
The birth of the independent happened in the early to mid 80s there. The condition in that book, it looks near mint, and I can't believe when you shoot it, it looks like it hasn't been opened or touched either.
Wow.
So these are 2 really good condition books. For the Captain 3D, I would grade it wise about an 8.59, for a late Golden Age or Atomic Age kind of book. That's not really bad. The one condition flaw, again, like my Strange Tales 151, it's got some slight rubbing at the top left-hand corner above the Harvey logo. Otherwise, sharp corners, no color break throughout the rest of the book. So I think it's we're talking something above a VF for a Golden Age or late Golden Age Atomic kind of book. That's great.
Are the glasses there?
The glasses are there. You saw them, yes. They're in there. And that makes a big difference, boys
It's
and
a
girls.
big difference.
50% difference as far as the price for the grade. So that is a major factor considering. Now, I bought this book from one of our locals from Gotham Central. Give it a shout out to the Gotham boys there.
Yeah, yeah.
I was surprised to see a book like this on their wall. I mean, I normally don't see many Golden Age books there.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in it about $1.25 Canadian, so that's about $100 US. Not bad for that kind of a grade. It's a book that's a borderline slab. Actually, I might actually seriously considering it for no other reason than to preserve the condition, which is great.
Yeah. And how often do we think about slabbing something that's not Marvel or
Yeah,
DC?
exactly. No, I know. I'm usually a Marvel guy, so this is me branching out a little bit. You know, when I dip my toe in the Golden Age, so I have examples of basically a cover or Gugger art with that jumbo book. From 1947. I have a crime or mystery kind of thing with that, the Spirit #1 from the spring '52. And now this is my first Golden Age superhero kind of book.
Yeah.
So I've dipped my toe where I could and getting something of representing genres, so that's great. So 30 years in the development of an idea that if it worked in 1953, even though it kind of didn't, they tried it again in '83. 2 Kirby books, great pickups.
Absolutely fantastic, Jose. I love them.
Alrighty, and for Polly's last book of the evening, a Charlton title. I don't think we've seen a Charlton before. Doomsday #1, but issue #2.
That's right. It's a Charlton, and not only is this my last book of the evening, this is the last book of the evening. So I thought I'd end with something that gets absolutely zero respect, and that's Charlton comic titles. Now, I brought this up for a reason. I mean, this goes back to my origins of comic collecting. I didn't start collecting because of a friend or because somebody told me to get into it or anything. I started because back in the 70s we used to own a farm. We used to rent the farm out in the winter and in the summer to different renters. And after going up there one year to clean up, the farm after the renters had left, they left a stack of comic books. And among the comic books was your standard stuff. You got your Spider-Mans and your Batmans and the Supermans. But there was also Doomsday #1, episode #1 or issue #1, and I read it, and it was a really good story. It was about some astronauts, they leave Earth, the Earth gets annihilated, they come back, and the story progresses from there. So it was a very exciting episode. I was very young when I read it. Always promised myself that I was going to pick up issue #2, and I finally did last week. So I'm actually very excited about reading it because I read issue #1 in probably like 1975, so I'm actually looking forward to this. Again, Charlton gets very little respect. This series gets very little respect. If you look on the comic book realm, a 9.2, like a near mint 9.2, it only goes for about $9.70 US.
Wow, that is nothing.
Terrible. Consider the book, this is September 75. So how old is the book now? 40 years old?
Over 40 years old, yeah.
Yeah, no respect.
No, Rodney Dangerfield said it best. Yeah, like I said, Aquaman is finally getting some respect. I don't know if this will ever see the light of day as far as that's concerned, but it's a cool biographical detail of, kind of like the origins of Paul, the collector, as far as something bringing back a memory, and that's all that basically comic books. That's it makes you relive your past, and if a book does that, man, then all the power to you.
Yeah, and I loved it. I love the cover, and something that actually is very interesting. This is very early John Byrne work. Not only is the cover John Byrne, but all the artwork on the inside is John Byrne as well. So if you're into John Byrne, you need to pick up this book.
Oh, I'm going to be on the lookout for 1 and 2. So finally, 40 years later, you get to see what the second issue of the story continues.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
So if you ask me, this is under the radar. It should be in every collector's collection. And just quick spread to give you the rundown for Comic Book Realm for 9.2, 8.0, and 7.0. Why I picked those grades, I don't know, I just did. The 9.2, the near mint, $9.70 US. A VF, by VF I mean about an 8.0, you're looking at about $8.50 US. And for a fine copy, by fine I mean about a 7.0, you're looking at about $5.50 US. So it's going to cost you nothing, and you're going to get some really cool early John Byrne artwork.
Oh, Stan would say, enough said, that's it. I'm in there. For John Byrne, sure.
And I think I paid like $5 for this book, and if you look at it, it's beautiful. This is a near mint copy. The corners are perfect. The spine is perfect. This book has no flaws whatsoever. So I'm very happy about picking it up. and it takes me back to my childhood, to my origin of collecting. Couldn't be happier.
Paul, origin issue to end the show.
Okay, guys, well, that's it. Hope you like what you saw. If you can, leave a comment because we love reading them. And we will see you, I guess, the next episode is going to be the big Halloween one.
Yes, now looking forward to that. And on behalf of Ooga, I will say hoi hoi and special guest Mike.
Special guest Mike's. Yes, yes.